For over 200 years, railroads have crisscrossed the lands of North America. During these 2 centuries, many railroads have risen and fallen while others have prevailed. Through it all, a rich history has been forged, cast in iron and steel. To honor this heritage, many present-day railroads have created special locomotives resplendent in the liveries of the past. This is Heritage Unit Profiles. Amtrak, the National Railroad Passenger Corporation, celebrated 50 years of service in 2021. To recognize their 50th anniversary, the railroad decided to paint up 6 locomotives in special commemorative paint schemes, similar to what was done for the 40th anniversary in 2011. 3 out of the 6 locomotives would wear recreations of paint schemes that had previously been applied to other Amtrak equipment. One of these locomotives, P42DC number 160, received a special version of the classic Amtrak Phase 3 livery. Given the name Dash-8 Phase 3 by Amtrak, this scheme was originally applied solely to the railroad's 20 P42-BWH-8 locomotives that were delivered in 1991. Railroad enthusiasts have often referred to this unique look as the Pepsi can, as it bears a resemblance to the iconic soda cans of that era. The Dash-8 locomotives were essentially freight units that had been modified for passenger service. They were delivered to fill a gap in motive power for Amtrak prior to the production of the GE Genesis series, which began in 1993. Being that the Amtrak Dash-8s were not significantly externally modified from freight versions of the locomotive, they retained such features as a narrow-width body, outside crew walkways, and bulky radiator sections, rather than hiding them within the framework of a full-width car body, as has been standard for purpose-built passenger diesel locomotives since the beginning. Amtrak's design team came up with an all-new version of Phase 3 to work around the large geometric features of the Dash-8's freight-style body. While silver and black were still major staples of the selected color palette, a darker shade of gray was used for the roof. Deeper shades of red and blue replaced the more traditional Amtrak red and Amtrak blue colors. To work around the radiator section, the large and small red and blue bands crossed each other and angled up toward the roofline at the midsection of the locomotive. The result was one of the most eye-catching and unique liveries to be applied to railroad equipment in recent memory, a scheme that would go on to win the Brunel Award for Visual Design in 1992. By 2000, the entire Dash-8 fleet had been repainted into Amtrak's Phase 4 livery, bringing to an end the era of the Pepsi can. Moving back to Amtrak's 50th anniversary in 2021, it was decided to revive this iconic scheme one more time as a member of the new series of Amtrak's anniversary units. Locomotive 160 was built in April of 2001, and as delivered, featured the original high-stripe version of the Phase 5 livery before receiving the low-stripe version just a few years later. Since the locomotive was due for new paint in 2021, it was selected to receive the Dash-8 Phase 3 scheme. Although Amtrak still retains its original fleet of Dash-8 locomotives as of mid-2022, the livery was instead chosen to be applied to a P42 for 2 reasons. The first is that the Dash-8 fleet is primarily used for work train service these days and is thus rarely seen by the railroad's passengers. Additionally, none of the Dash-8 locomotives are currently scheduled for a repaint, as the fleet is expected to be retired in the very near future. Today, P42 number 160 proudly shows off this eye-catching livery. The only significant modification made to the scheme was to narrow the stripes around the nose of the locomotive in order to properly adapt the livery to the P42 body. The paint job was completed in September of 2021, and the 160s spent the next several months running on the East Coast long-distance trains before being shifted over to some of the western runs in early 2022. We will now travel to the route of the Empire Builder to watch the 160 in action in its highly anticipated new livery. Thanks for joining me for this episode of Heritage Unit Profiles. If you have any suggestions for other locomotives you'd like to see me cover, let me know in the comments section below. As always, a big thank you to all of my supporters on Patreon. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you're always more than welcome to come aboard and make sure to click the bell to receive all notifications. There's even more train-themed content on my other social media pages, and remember to stop by every Friday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time for an all-new railroading adventure right here on the YouTube channel. That's it for now. Until next time, I'm Mike Armstrong. I'll see you down the line. Thanks for watching.